Well, hello, folks. It is Saturday night. I probably have things I should be doing. Instead, I'm doing this because everybody was tired after a long day, and I haven't been able to do one of my scripted videos this week, except for my random TTRPG thoughts. And I just wanted to get something out there for people to hang out with. And I really am impressed with this Land of Eem Foundry install, and I love showing it off. And I found something new that I didn't even see the first time I was doing this, so I want to show you guys that. And so I want to thank, not myself, Zatari, you were on 5 minutes before I started. Thank you very much. And here's King Eric the Greatest All, already coming up with a name for his character in this game, Sir Guy Smiley. Eric, I think sometime I'm just going to have to have you come on, and we're just going to have to make you a character. I think that would be really good. Saturday night is all right. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get some more content on the channel, or just kind of talk with folks, is because this week I did hit 4,000 subscribers, which absolutely boggles my mind. I spent most of last night and this morning writing kind of like my announcement post of that, celebration post of that, and my celebration video script of that. There's a lot of people to thank, and I am really terrified I'm going to forget somebody, so I'm trying to create like different categories. Everybody who participates in all the live streams, you are put in the thank you so much for liking, comment, and subscribing. King Eric, probably should give you a shout out by name, because you always have the wackiest comments, always. So I hope to get that up early in the week. I'm still trying to find time to eke out to write my Monty Python review and my Tales of Argosa review. Problem is, I'm playing probably Monty Python tomorrow at Open Adventure at Brewery 33 in Riverton, New Jersey from 5 to 8 p.m. It is first come, first played, no reservations, and it's free, so it's really, really cool. And then on Monday, I'm playing in Tales of Argosa. So that's actually going to be fun with the guy who created the install for Foundry. So I'm kind of busy doing really fun things, but because we hit the 4,000 subscribers, that means I'm giving away this. And that's going to be so much fun. So I'm really excited to get this into somebody's hands. So I'm going to have my celebration video up early next week. We will have how you can put your name in to win this book. This is not my signed copy. This is the one that I got at Second Time Books up in Rancocas Woods in New Jersey. And but this is in really good condition. Not mint condition. It's got, it's been loved. But it'll survive transit, and all the pages are there from what I can tell. And it should be really nice. So hopefully I'll get that out and we can get that giveaway done, because I am going on sabbatical and I want that out of here before I go. I have a month and a half, so it's not like it's going to happen anytime soon. But that's what's going on with that, and I'm really, really excited to get that into somebody's hands and just let them have that little piece of history that's right there. And I probably should not buy my book like that, because I don't want to break the spine while I am preparing to give it away. Anyway, so I made a Land of Eem character last week, and the process was really fun on this Foundry install. Really, really good. And here's what I discovered, because when I was doing it last week, I was going back and forth between the PDF and the Foundry install, and that is... it was easy, but I'm tracking my mouse going from screen to screen, which is a little bit difficult. The Dave Snapper, let me get my thing over. Would you like to take an early look at a game I am working on now? Okay, so here is my thing. I want to read everyone, and this actually comes out in my thank you video, or the celebration video for 4,000. I want to read all the games. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get back into the hobby for so long, is because I knew eventually I would just want to read all the games, and I didn't have the money to do that, and that would be frustrating. And so, yes, I would love to take an early look at a game that you're working on now. I have about 7 that people have given me, and I feel awful that I haven't gotten into it. This is one that's coming up. Beast Slayer. See if I can get that to stay in focus there. There you go. Which is just a nice little, thin little rules light zine game, apparently about slaying beasts. was given to me. I actually have 2 copies of these, so with permission of the author, I might actually give one away. That'll be fun. And it's just a nice, simple little zine game. I haven't even had time to read it yet. And I got another game, a PDF, looks really cool, that I have sitting in my PDF reader on my iPad that I just need to get there. And so, yes, I would definitely, Dave, would like to take a look at it sometime. Reach out through dmtales.com, go to my contact page, give me some information about what type of a game it is, because there's certain games where if I don't resonate with it, I don't feel like I'm going to give you your just due, because creating things is hard, and I really want to be able to show off something that you did in a way that's going to honor what you created. But at the very least, if I can't get to this soon and you're looking for playtesters, I can introduce you to some excellent players who love playing new systems and breaking them. And not because they want to hurt you, because they want to make your system really, really good. So I would love to be able to do that for you at the very least. But yeah, I would love to look at your system sometime. Thank you. I can't promise it'll happen fast, but it'll happen. I do get to everything eventually. Eventually. Am I going on pilgrimage? Am I going on pilgrimage? Yes, I'm doing actually, you know what? I am doing a pilgrimage. I'm not going to say what I'm doing at one point, but this would qualify as a pilgrimage. Kind of a, as pilgrimage is a spiritual discipline where you're just taking a journey with purpose. And I do have a journey with purpose that I am planning for that trip, which should be fun. I'm also going on vacation. The Beast of Arg will probably be involved in my Monty Python game tomorrow that I am going to be running a PC in. That'll be a lot of fun. So anyway, that's all the early stuff coming out of the way. And thank you, Dave, for asking if I would like to look at your game. I am always honored when people think that, wow, that would be fun. It's almost to the point where I need playtesters. I need to add a little more first and a little bit of a module for it first. Awesome. You let me know and we'll take it. But reach out through dmtales.com. And if it's something that I like, or it sounds like I like, I'll gladly accept it and try to take a look at it. And hopefully not leave you waiting for too long. But at the very least, I can introduce you to some folks who do love doing playtests. And they love doing live stream playtests too. So we'll see if that can work out. Anyway, let's get back to the Land of Eem, because one of the cool things that I discovered last week, I was going between the PDF and the Foundry install to go through the character steps, and it worked fine. It's just I'm confused as to where my mouse is, because my PDF reader and OBS is on my main screen, and Foundry is on my secondary screen right now, so that I can bring it into OBS. And it was getting a little confusing, but here's what I discovered. The Land of Eem install has the character creation steps built in. And I was wondering last week how they managed to do this. This is all from the Quick Start Guide, and it is created with the permission of the authors and creators of Land of Eem. So this is not being done like shadily or anything. This is totally on the up and up. But man, for something that is not a commercial module, so let me, I'm going to go over to my PDF reader really quick, because I do have it up here. I just want to add a bookmark for where I am going right now. There we go. And I want to go to the character creation steps on the PDF. So I want to show you something. So here's what the character creation steps look like in the Foundry install. And then here's what they look like in the PDF, or the actual player's guide. I mean, they got the colors right. I mean, obviously they didn't get like the fonts all the same, but it looks so nice. I mean, you can see that these are very much related, even though they're not the exact same fonts, they're not the exact same stuff, they have the same color and that same kind of very welcoming insight. You can see how these are related. So that really makes me happy. Who put this out? This is really cool. Dave says, no joke, this is the second time in a week I've heard people talk about the Land of Eem. I'm starting to grow more interested. It is a really fascinating game. And actually the Foundry install, again, free install, does have a free adventure that's that is part of it. So it's got something ready to run. I am making my characters. I'm relearning the game, because I did my review of it a year ago, so that I can run this pretty soon. And this might actually be one of my first live streams that I run on this channel, since my Shadow Dark stream 2 years ago, which is the only actual play I've ever attempted. So yeah, it should be fun. But let's talk about this character thing here. So we're going to browse the classes, we're going to browse the folk, and we're going to download the character sheet. So I do have a class in mind. And I'll bring back my book for you to see that. So I'm going to do the Dungeoneer. This is like the treasure hunter style character. And that's I'm kind of fun for that. Let's see what we can create with the Dungeoneer style character here. So that's what I'm going to make. And so we need to have a character concept. Yep, we're going to browse the folk. I do have a couple of folk in mind, but we're going to take a look at all of them for that. I get a friend of mine wondering if they should watch me or Jake. Watch Jake. He's doing an actual play. And then select a class. So that's the class that we're going to do. But let's make a new. Where's my? See, this is why I don't like having too many screens open. We're going to make a new character. There's Captain Charming from last time. We'll just call this New Stream. And there's the base Land of Eem character sheet. So we're going to do. Hey, Justin, how are you? We're going to do a Dungeoneer. So we're choosing the class, and we're going to choose starting class perks and both of the class attributes. So in Land of Eem, let me go to the main. So in Land of Eem, and I explained this last week, but people might not have been watching the earlier stream or my review or my first character stream. But in Land of Eem, you when you get to a level, you get both of the character abilities for that level. And this is a playtest way. This is a way of allowing you to try out both of the abilities inside actual play. You don't feel like you get stuck with something because I made a bad choice, or maybe the adventure goes another way and you're like, man, I could have used that. And so that's kind of fun. But when you level up, then you have to choose which one of those you're going to specialize in. I'm still trying to figure out how this works on the interior of the game fiction, but as a play mechanic, it's actually kind of cool, and it lets people hang out with stuff and try them all out. So let's take a look here. So the Dungeoneer, we have one Dungeoneer perk that we can take, okay? And then we have the Dungeoneer abilities. So first level, we have the Dungeon Crew, which is the crew of plucky boggles or tiny gelatinous goos or mushrooms, accompanies the Dungeoneer on expeditions. Even when thrust into danger, they comically never perish, they can inspire or intimidate check once every session to make the crew do something useful. So I can do an inspire and intimidate check. They are especially good for distractions, menial labor, and triggering traps. And that just sounds awesome. Could you imagine, like, I have this little miniature tiny gelatinous goose who just do completely reckless things and they just never die. And I have to narrate, like the player would have to narrate like how they do this. Like that would be absolutely hysterical. And then the second one of their first level abilities is Reconnoiter. They can Reconnoiter, yeah. Dungeoneer is a cranny scout and is up to date on the latest intel. Realms check once every session, make up a fact or rumor about a place or group located there. Instant action. I just love everything about these things. I think the Dungeon Crew is the one that I would specialize in. Dungeoneer perks, we can choose an underling or we can choose gear. Since we've already got the Dungeon Crew here, I think we're going to choose Dungeon Gear as our first perk. So let's go back to this in the character sheet. Dungeoneer perks. Choose gear. Choose gear. All right, pick this up. There's my perks. So every Dungeoneer packs the proper gear for adventuring and exploration. We grant +1 in travel checks with maps. Metal Detector grants +1 treasure hunting and delving tools. At session start, the Dungeoneer always has the basic delving gear that doesn't take inventory slots. Rope, torch, 10-foot pole. Always have the 10-foot pole. Shovel and pickaxe. So that's kind of fun. So we get some cool stuff for checks, which is great. And then we're going to put the 2 abilities in, which is Crew and Reconnoiter. Reconnoiter, is that how you spell it? Pronounce that as reconnoiter. Somebody tell me how I do it. Watch two at the same time. Is Jake doing his date night stream tonight? I'm sorry, I'm cutting into him, which is not fun. Jake is from Avenue Studios, fantastic channel. Go watch that. And in fact, if I'm boring, go watch them because they're a lot of fun. So now I got my 2 abilities. I have got my perk to start, and now we're going to go back to the. I'm in the wrong thing. Now we're going to assign the modifiers to the attributes. So let's see what we got going on here. So it's +2, +1, 0, and -1 to the attributes. So there are 2 things that are here. First is you have the attributes, which are Vim, Vigor, Knack, Know-How. And then next to it, you have the skills, which are tied to that attribute score. He's doing the same thing I'm doing with the new DC-20 version. Oh yeah, just watch us both at the same time then. So if I went +2 with my Vim, then all of my skills are going to default to a +2 as well. They're going to change through the character creation process. That's how you differentiate your characters. But that's what they would start with. So I want to see what kind of my key thing is here. So he's really searched, sneak, trickery. See, that's the type, or wilderness would be kind of important. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to give him +2 know-how. 2. Now, one thing I wish that happened is, no, I actually don't wish that. I was thinking that I would wish that if you put the 2 in there, all the skills would automatically become 2, but I don't wish that because I have to edit them as we go through the character creation process. So now I get a +1. And what do you think? We're going to do it as I caught that Preacher Man live. Hey, Skillum, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, I probably should be getting ready for tomorrow because I got worship in the morning and then open adventure at the brewery in the afternoon. So great me. I'm a terrific Baptist. So I'm a Dungeoneer, Treasure Hunter type. Do you think I would want to go +1 with Vigor, which gives me Athletics, Intimidate, Might, Vitality, or Knack, which is Nimbleness, Search, Sneak, and Trickery? I'm thinking that I want to go with Knack. I just think because the sneaky type and the searching type for the a treasure hunter type character, a Dungeoneer character, just kind of makes sense to me. So that's where I'm going to go. And then we've got -1 and a 0 to go. So I think, let me go back over here. I want to see, courage is 13 plus Vim. Is he courageous or not? So is he more or less courageous than not? Just do your sermon on the land of Eem. No, we're not doing that. Baptist, as long as you don't dance, you're fine. So, fun fact, let me go to Maine. So, fun fact, I went to a Mennonite high school, which is actually where I came to faith, was very much saved my life. Really, like, I'm not even joking. Adolescence was not fun for me. But Mennonites do not dance. Like, there's not even a variations. Like, they just don't, like, that was the tradition. It's like, they don't dance. So at the school, I lived in the dorm for 2 years, which was a blast. But it was like, quick, do the Mennonite twist. That was too much movement. So that was the Mennonite twist. That was always kind of fun. Anyway, let's get back to this. Is he courageous? Is he durable or not? Or is he going to be more athletic type? So maybe he's, able to climb across the chasm, but he can't, but he's not, he's lived a hard life, so he's not got quite as much courage. Courage is kind of like your hit points in this game. So I'm thinking I want him to be more athletic. So I'm going to get that 0. We'll give Vim -1. So he's lived kind of hard life, or she, or they. I don't really know. Could be non-binary gender. I don't know. And so that's kind of where we're going to go in here. So I'm going to put these skills in. 1, 1, come on, 1 tab. I wish it would automatically select the text. 0, 0, 0, and then see, now he's not very charming because he's lived a hard life, or she or they, I don't know. I'm just defaulting to myself right now until I make the character out some more. Lived a hard life and is a little bit rough. So that's kind of the idea for that. Let's go back to this. So assign plus 2, plus 1, 0, and minus 1 to the attribute to choice. Now the corresponding skills of an attribute also get its modifier. So that's what we just did. And now we're going to tweak the skills. So that's where we're going here. Subtract -1 from a +2 skill. So you are not like all that in a bag of chips and everything that's tied to that attribute. You know, there's something that you're not quite as good at. And I'm thinking that lore is really good for a treasure hunter because you want them to like, oh, I know, like this was like the great acts of, you know, Barcelona. I don't know. So in realms, let's do that. We're going to put realms at 1. So realms is kind of like, how do you know the area? Maybe better with the lore, but doesn't necessarily know where everything is. That would actually be kind of a fun way to play the game. And we're still in tweak skills, so subtract -1 from a +1 skill. So something's going to go flat now, and that's always fun. Do we want to make, you know what, up and up. The dude's just up and up. The gal is up and up. They are just up and up. I don't know, what is like colloquial slang for just like a generic non-binary? So you have dude, gal, doll. Like doll's like going back to like the 1920s. I'm guys and dolls. I was a theater geek. So that's great. Barcelona is a low-key great name with a bar for a bar with tapas. I love that. Let me bring that up there. Yeah, trickery is what I'm thinking, Dave, too. I think trickery would just be, this character just does not do trickery well, but all the other stuff, very, very well. Go back to the tweaking. So we've done the -1, and now we get +1 to a -1 skill. So we're going to flatten something out. And I'm actually thinking perception. So we'll make that 0. So that's really cool in the way that you create it. And I was very much against like point buy systems and just like tweaking the character the way that you wanted to tweak the character, because I have a very difficult relationship with the concept of min-maxing. I'm much more of a random type guy. And this is very much, there's only so much you can do, but you can min-max here as far as you're allowed to within the system. But I kind of like this because the way that it's designed with Land of Eem is that you're tweaking the character and thinking about this character's story as you do it. So it's not just, the mechanics are there. It's not just the mechanics. You're also like, well, how did this character end up this way? Which is something I really like about this character creation process. That's why I keep going back to it for live streams. And I am not even going to try to pronounce your name, good commenter, because I will just insult your language or the language that it is from, and I am very sorry because I'm American. I can barely speak English, but you're trying to write a Land of Eem adventure right now. That's really cool. Share the basic concept in the chat if you want, because I think that's really cool. And I'm apologizing right now that I just don't even want to embarrass myself and perhaps insult you, because I'm an idiot. So let's do that. We did our tweaking. And now courage and dread are determined by class. Attack and attack is equal to vigor modifier. Defense is inverse of the knack modifier. It's basically a type of descending armor class for this game, which makes me kind of smile. Quest points is 3 plus know-how. Inventory slots is 20 plus might plus vitality. So what's going to happen now is we are going to put our class in, and it's going to automatically put my stuff up here, because I didn't actually put the class in just yet. So let me see what we got. So if I do this, this is what I want to know. If I put the class up here, is it going to do that automatically? Yes, it did. Look at that. But see, it puts all your stuff, all your abilities in, which is what I don't like. Like, I don't have all these abilities just yet. Last time I was able to delete them. I need to see how I do that. Because I only have the one. How did I delete them last time? I'd have to go back and look at my sheet. Oh, there it is. Edit. Delete. So Reconnoitre, I do have Dungeon Magazine. Delete that. Dungeoneer, a looter. Delete. Just right click. Look at that. Things acting the way they're supposed to. Delete. And I'm right clicking on a Mac, which is, if you talk to Steve Jobs, it's like evil for some reason. I never did quite understand that. There's a lot of abilities here. I do have that. There we go. Booby traps. This is kind of fun. Man, there's a lot of abilities. All right, so I've got, only need one Reconnoitre. There we go. Dungeon, there we go. Now I'm back to thing. Trying to write an adventure for Land of Eem. There we go. Nobody's commented. Great. But it should have put my courage in already, and it did not, which does not make me happy, because it should have. But my courage is 13 plus Vim. So, oh, it didn't try. Okay. So my Vim is -1, so 12 courage. Whoops. My blind just fell down next to me. If you heard a next to me, it was kind of fun. I suspect Steve only had one finger. I don't know. What does that mean? I've lost. I'm lost. I am lost. I am sorry. And then Dread is 1d8. And your attack is... What did I say attack was? There it goes. Attack is Vigor modifier. So my Vigor is 0, so my attack is 0. And my defense is inverse of Knack. So -1. That was good to put Knack in there. And quest points is equal to 3 plus know-how. So know-how is 2, so quest points is 5. That's actually pretty nice. There we go. Oh, Steve Jobs didn't, thank you. I forgot that I was talking about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs didn't have a right click on his mouse. He likely only had one finger. Yeah, he really he didn't like things that had more than one button. And for the life of me, I do not know why. Although the Magic Mouse is kind of fun to use, although I prefer the Magic Trackpad. Yeah, I've never quite understood that. He was just very intense about that. Inventory slots is 20 plus might plus vitality. So there you go. 20 plus might plus vitality. So where's my might? 0, 0. So 20. There we go. Everything is correct now. Yay. All right. Let's go to the next step. Select a folk. So folks are, your ancestry in this game, which is fun. Jay, can you put your name in phonetically? Because I really want to know how to pronounce it. And I'll see what language root is it? Because it looks really cool. But here's the explanation for the game. The town lays the blame for bad stuff on a witch, so the heroes have to figure out the situation to either fussily save the town, getting rid of the witch, or actually save the town by getting rid of the mayor/gang. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. That's nice. Just call me Joel. I will, but I would really like to know what your language root is, because it's such a cool looking name. It really is. So, and also I'm fascinated by language, even though I can't speak any at all. So we're gonna pick a folk here, and there are a bunch of folks in this game. And let me get to that in here. Actually, bring this up in my Foundry install if I can figure out what monitor my mouse is on again. So I'll bring these up. So there's the folk. I'll bring this over in the front so people can see it. Where is my mouse? My mouse has gone bye-bye. Somehow it ended up on my iPad. Let's bring it over here. So we have boggarts, kind of like they kind of look like Muppets. It's Korean for wet poop. Boggles are, I'm not sure what boggles look like. I want to get there's actually a picture that has all the folk on it in the PDF. So at least I'll show you the pictures. There we go. Let me bring it up to here. Okay. So we've got boggarts, which kind of look like Muppets. Boggles are goblin-type creatures. Bogrels are frog folk. Bugbears. Bugbears are just my favorite. Incidentally, in every fantasy world that I've ever created from scratch, a bugbear always ends up in the restaurant business somehow. It started out with this guy. Where is he? Here he is. As I drop him on the ground and break him. Oh boy. Nope, he's fine. Good. So it started out with this guy. That is Gregor the Finder. He survived an encounter with my Monday Murder Hobos in my first Hallmark series of adventures. And he basically decided, I'm only here because I was done with the killing and the stabbing, and I really just want to. I just thought this would be a good thing. It was a cult that he had become part of. I just thought this would be a nice change of pace, but I really want to follow my great passion, which is to find really rare ingredients for restaurants. And so he's Gregor the Finder. And my friend, one of the guys from that campaign, painted this mini for me. So, and Gregor kept on showing up. He's like, folks, we're still not doing the stabbing thing. And then in my other games, in my basic fantasy, they met a bugbear who was running a barbecue joint. So that was kind of fun. I guess I will need to introduce bugbears and Playbound. Bugbears are great. Thanks, Dave. So, let me get back here. So you have bugbears, the gelatinous goo, which was actually my first. I had a gelatinous goo knight errant. If you go back and look at my live streams for Land of Eem, that was fun as I was learning the character creation process. That was great. Gnomes are the only character that is also, it would be the old equivalent of race class. They're also the only magic users by default in the game because this is a low magic setting. Although I know they're putting it on Patreon right now. They're working on a supplement for the first magic using non-gnome class. So that'd be fun. You have goblins who are goblins as opposed to boggles who are, I guess, more like gremlin type characters, I guess. Really hoping someone creates some Land of Eem minis STLs. That would actually be kind of fun because these are really cool looking characters. The artwork is so distinct. You wouldn't know it. So you're watching Land of Eem and you're looking at this book right now and everybody's like, oh, everything's so cute. This is one of the most subversive role-playing games I've ever seen in my life, which is great because you're laughing so hard at stuff. You're not realizing the huge critique that's being thrown. I made a human last time. Humans are very rare in Land of Eem. They kind of got an adventure type vibe going on here. Imps, little impies. Mushrooms are the mushroom folk. Quirtles, turtle people. Shrim, I guess they're some type of rodent. Figure that out. Skeletons, that's the original Land of Eem story is actually a short story, and there's a skeleton who's there. Rickety Stitch and the gelatinous goo. Rickety Stitch is the skeleton. A welcome is a bird folk. Whalekin, that's kind of cool. And then a wug. I like wugs. Wugs are like huge goblin bugbear type things. Kind of fun. What do I want to make my Dungeoneer? Do any of you like which of these characters do you like, or these folk do you guys like the best for this character? What do you think? I've never done a mushroom. Should we do a mushroom? Would you like that? Do I bother asking you? Let's see what we got. And I think for this, I just have to type in the thing. Yep. You want to do a wug, the Dave? That's you actually said something. So, a wug treasure hunter. Okay, let's do that. Wug, and their size I think is large. So let's see about that. Let me find the wug in the thing. I probably shouldn't be doing this. There we go. I think they are large. Size big. Yes, they are big. Big. That does have some mechanical effect on the game, but I forget. But I'm going to do this. Can you get back to the sheet? Yes, I can go back to the sheet. There we go. So I put in wug. So, alrighty then. So there we go. Now with this, I need to, with the folk, choose one skill bonus and one skill penalty. Choose one folk perk or choose two folk perks and one folk quirk. I like quirks. Quirks are fun. So let's go back to the wug. I'm looking at the skills. I'm just looking at the PDF myself. So it can choose one skill bonus and one skill penalty. So I can do +1 might, +1 metal, or +1 athletics. That's kind of fun. Or I could, and then do -1 search, -1 lore, and -1 nimbleness. So I think metal. Let's do that for the +1. We'll make that a 0. Now this is where min-maxing could come into play because I actually could make athletics +1. I might do that instead. Let's do that instead. Because I do want this guy to be able to like climb, and I think it would be really funny to have this big wug as a dungeoneer who's big and so is like crawling through these passages, but it's also like athletic and able to like contort to get like through the narrow passageways. That would be kind of fun. So we're going to make that +1, not -1, +1. There we go. And now -1 is -1 search, lore, or nimbleness. Do we make this wug a little bit clumsy? Even if they're athletic, maybe they're not quite as good at getting rid of the traps or getting around the traps. That probably is the best way to put it. Plus not. Yeah, I did do a plus then. So search, lore, or nimbleness. I'm thinking search. I want to keep them search. I think nimbleness. They can find the thing, but they can't disarm it as well. So that's just 0. So we get that out. And then we get 1 perk or 2 perks and 1 quirk. So let's see what the quirks are to see if we're going to take one of them. So I'll go back to the book here. So the quirks are strange sense of humor. Wugs find humor in the oddest things, and in inopportune moments they laugh at something that isn't trying to be funny. Dave, I found your character. And then big eater. It takes a lot to feed a wug. PC eats an entire ration on a usage die of 1 to 4 instead of a 1 to 2. That's no fun. That's like a mechanical penalty. I like the strange sense of humor. I think that's awesome. So let's do that. Wugs, quirks, strange sense of humor. Does it go in here? Yes, it does. There it is, quirks. Which means I get to go 2 perks now. That's great. So 2 perks. Stubborn mind. Many wugs see through pretty words and are hard to trick. PC has a proficiency in resisting charm and trickery. That's kind of fun. Buff. Wugs are incredibly strong. PC has proficiency in lifting stuff. Wild frame. That isn't penalty. It's their food is less likely to go to waste. That is also true, Dave. Another item or 3 is no problem for a wug to lug. PC gains +5 inventory slots. Well, we're doing that. I like that. This is like Mongo do. So wide frame. Now, what do we want? We want stubborn mind or buff. So they're already -1 charm. So if we get a proficiency with that, that would be kind of fun. I don't want to just go both into strength because that's no fun. So let's make them stubborn mind. They have a stubborn mind and they laugh at things randomly. I just think that's terrific. That's a great character concept right there. So now we're going to select a homeland. So homelands can be stubborn mind. That's what I thought too, Dave. So I put it in for you. I guess I'm making your character. There used to be forest, the Drippy Downs, the Quagmarsh River Country, Fleabag Country, and Scallywag Strand. I don't want to make him Scallywag Strand. I think that was my last one. Fleabag Country would be kind of fun. Used to be forest. No, they're not really a nature type of person. Quagmarsh River Country. Let's do Fleabag Country. Sorry. Oh, please excuse my yawn. That wasn't fun. Glasses are out. So I'm going to go to... Oh, they don't have the things here. Cool. Let's just get... I'm going to go to back to my sheet. There we go. And I'm going to get to Fleabag Country. There we go. Okay, that's kind of cool. Dave, you want Drippy Downs? I got two people on Drippy Downs. All right, Drippy Downs. Let's look at Drippy Downs. Fine, Drippy Downs it is, even though I was going to Fleabag, but I'm building Dave's character, and actually two people named Dave are saying Drippy Downs. So, PCs from here grew up near the misty rolling hills and grasslands bordering Grimley Wood. They likely love nature and the freedom to wander the wilderness where fairy folk still dwell. Maybe that's what drives this character into the dungeons, because they think like there's still like magic from the fairy folk buried deep underground, and they're trying to uncover it. So that would be kind of cool. I could go with that. That's kind of fun. They get proficiencies. So if I with this, go here, pick 2 proficiencies, record all the listed equipment, and roll 2 random mundane items. So proficiencies they have. So Homeland, Drippy Downs. And where does proficiencies go? Did I miss it? I'm still getting used to this, folks. Sorry. Does it just go here? Oh, there's the proficiencies. Thank you. And it's just 2. So let's see. Fairy lore, hunting, climbing, jumping. I want climbing. He might be hard to say. All right, climbing. So that's 1. I get 1 more proficiency, and I'm going to bring up the books so you guys can see what they are here. So, fairy lore, climbing, jumping, cooking, wrestling. You want to make him a wrestler? I think we should make this guy a wrestler. I'm pretty fixated on being a guy at this point, but it would be fun if it was a non-binary or a female wrestler too. Wrestling. Let's do that. I like that. That's kind of fun. All right, so we'll submit that. There we go. We'll go back to the character sheet. And then we get 10 slots of inventory, and we've already got 25, which is really nice. And I'm going to go to the mundane items, and I'll just drag this stuff over, and it's just behind my image right now, but I'm going to search for it. So they start with a bear trap. I mean, how awesome is that? And then a bedroll. And a canteen so they can drink water. That's pretty good. A knife. Hurrah. Normal rations as opposed to abnormal rations. Umbrella. I just like the fact that it's a fantasy world with an umbrella. You know, the wug doesn't like to get wet. And man, a wug umbrella would be huge. Like people could get under it. That would be kind of fun. Walking stick. And I'll swing that. I'll swing that umbrella around like a whip. That sounds perfect. I like that. And what was the last one? Let me get this up here. Oh, cookware. Oh, they can cook. This bug can cook. Well, they have cookware. I don't know how well they can cook. So that's kind of fun. There we go. Let's get back to the process. So we have selected proficiencies, equipment, roll 2 mundane items. And look, they have the mundane items rollable tables here. And I'm just going to pick that up. I'll bring the chat window up. And we will roll. They get a banner. Oh, that was the wrong thing to search in. What is a banner? There's no description. There's no effect. They just have a banner. Okay. I might have to look that up in the core rulebook to see if there actually is something that goes with that. And what's the next one they get? Pauper rags. Wow. So what we'll say is that they've been dungeoneering so much that their rags are just completely worn out. They haven't necessarily had a chance to get new clothes. Oh, you meant the bear trap swinging around. Yeah, our first one-shot day, which was the precursor to Ecclesiacon, somebody was running Morkborg or Mark Bury or how, I don't know. I'm calling it Morkborg. And they got a bear trap and they put it on a chain and they swung it around, and they encountered some cultists who were not wearing clothes, and they were male, and certain things poke out, and the bear trap went there, and that was a church event. So that was fun. All right, so we got that done. Mundane items are done. Create a name and choose pronouns. So, new stream is obviously not the name. Dave, I'm making this character for you, Dave of Grimwood Games, or Dave the Dave. Maybe you can share it at some point. What would you like this character to be named? What gender are they? What pronouns would you like them to have? I'm pausing for you. Naked cultist. Yeah, it was in Morkborg. They're just, that's just Tuesday in Morkborg, right? Yeah. My friend Josh ran that table. It was funny because they're playing Morkborg in a church. Like, I don't know. We're just not normal. We really aren't. So Timothy. Does Timothy have a last name? Timothy the Wug. So we're going he, him with pronouns. Very good. Some call me Tim. Okay. We got that. I'll keep in mind for you. So we got that. Now we're going to create a backstory. So backstory. Dungeoneer. I'm going to roll this because that's always fun. 4. There are many, many amazing sights to behold in the land of Eem, and I want to see them all. That's a great backstory. So they're just out for hanging out. Timothy touts the Wug. Oh, I like that. We're putting that in. Give me a second. I do love, look at this. I love the bio page. It's just so nice. I just love this. So Timothy touts the Wug. Timothy touts. That's kind of a nice name. Let's get the alliteration thing going on there. That's very good. Character creation steps. So we've got the name, pronoun, and we're going to choose an ideal and a flaw. So ideal Dungeoneers, we're going to roll for this. 6. Interact with a rare creature. That's kind of interesting. So that is the ideal. They want to interact with a rare creature. That's kind of fun, actually. Very good. And now let's do flaws. Dungeoneer, roll the 1d6. 1. Throw caution to the wind. We got a Wug that just wades, and Dave, this is perfect for your style of play. Just throw caution to the wind. And we did it completely randomly, and it just showed up as you, which is great. Alrighty then, go back to the character creation steps. We've got, now we have to, during session 0, develop a personal quest. So this is something that it gets worked out. When I am running a game, there is no world in which I can think of names. When I am not running a game, names come to me. Same way, my default NPC name is Steve. There are many Steves running around in all of my worlds. And sorry if I just screwed up the mic. I just touched my mic. But everybody's Steve. It's always Steve. There's a lot of Steves. Yeah. Anyway, so the the personal quest is one that you kind of develop over time, or during session zero you say this is kind of what we're looking at. So I'll get the framework, and then Dave, you can figure out what you want for this, because this is, I'm just deciding this is your character, because I'm really good that way. Find the, oh, that's perfect for it. Oh yes, find the lost treasure of, and I'll let you figure out what the heck that is. That's so much fun. I like that a lot. Character creation steps. We've got the personal script. Now, this is where I need other people we need to do relationships with. So I will, you just had a name. Dave, Timothy, Tug, or Timothy, or that was the Dave doing Timothy. So Grimwood did Timothy, the Dave did Timothy Touts. Too many Daves. There's never too many Daves. There's never too many Steves. So you really need the other players around the table to work this out well, but I'm going to roll the base and then we'll plug that in. And then when we put the party together, we will figure out how it all works. Blank needs to be more aware or they'll be the death of us. Oh, and that goes so perfectly with their -1 to charm. They're just like, this person needs to figure out they're going to get us all killed. I like that. So I'll save that. We can figure that out later as to who they don't like. Sir Galahad's Book of Creatures. What's that from, Dave? Did you come up with that yourself? Oh, find the lost treasure of Sir Galahad's Book of Creatures. Is that what you want? That's the lost treasure? Let me know in chat. And there we go. And then you do session 0. So there we have. Find the lost treasure of Sir Galahad's Book of Creatures. Sure, why not? There we go. I kind of like that a lot. All right, so here's our character. Need some artwork. That's going to for a wug. I don't have anything that makes wugs. We need a character artwork generator for Land of Eem, darn it. Or how to like just make Muppets at random. So, but that's what we got. We have not great Vim, not great Courage, which is essentially it's like your hit points, but it's not entirely the concept. Vigor is mediocre, Knack's a little better, know-how is really where they go. They have proficiencies in climbing and wrestling. I think a proficiency is essentially advantage. I need to remember how those function in game. That is something that I'm part of my relearning process. I get to reread the book. Darn. Got Dungeoneer and Wide Frame and Stubborn Mind as some of their perks. Their quirks is they have that strange sense of humor. I love that for any character, but for a character that I'm making Dave from Grimwood Games play, that is just perfect. There will be much howling and laughter. Dungeon Crew. Dave, you figure out what kind of dungeon crew you want. Do you want the tiny mushrooms, tiny gelatinous goos, or just like a bunch of boggles running around who you can like intimidate to do anything, and if they fail, they never die. They just comedically like fly against the wall and go splat, and then just slide to the ground and wake up and go, well, that hurt. And that's literally written into it. I just love that. And then reconnoiter. Reconnoiter? How do you pronounce that? Reconnoiter. I think it's that what it is. They got their nice little inventory with the bear trap. Yay. They don't have a regular weapon. So I'm always interested to see how that works, because there's no, you get money. I did not see money anywhere. Did anybody else see money? Did I miss the money? Oh, I am so yawning. I need to get to bed. It's been about an hour. We need to make a loyal chum at one point. There's an engineer. I do not see money anywhere. Nope. not there. That's the bear trap. The weapon is the bear trap. Okay. We'll figure out how to use it. It's good. But that's what we got. What an absolutely... It's such a fun character creation process. There's a lot of steps. I'm getting faster with it the more that I do it. If I was not talking with people and going through chats, this would be really, really quick. Because it's just a matter of +1, -1, remembering where things, where you are in the steps. But it's really cool because even as I'm going through and getting their mechanics, I'm thinking of the story. Like, who is this character? Why is this skill not as good as that skill, even though they have this modifier? Why are they better at this one, even though their modifier for their attribute is less than that? That's something that's really cool for me. And I love picking one quirk over another, or one perk over another. Just seems to be really, really fun. And the characters that you create, they're not all going to be carbon copies of each other, because you're going to choose one of your abilities, someone else is going to choose another one. You're going to improve at one skill, someone else is going to try to knock that down. And then when you take your folk, you're going to alter your skills a little bit differently anyway. So it's kind of fun. It's not a huge variation, but it's enough that it makes them very, very distinct. And I'm impressed with it. I like it very much, and I am so excited about this game. And the game is basically a 1d12. It's very similar to Powered by the Apocalypse. When you roll, something will happen. We're not twiddling thumbs at the door. And if you look at I think I mentioned this last time, and I definitely mentioned it in my review, but if you look at the ranges in the numbers, so even though it's 1d12 instead of a 2d6 system, the basic ranges are the same as like the old creature or NPC response check, like that 2d6 thing from way back in like Mold Bay Cook. Those are the ranges as to like hostile, wary, friendly. And that's essentially the same concept that goes on in Land of Eem. The higher that you roll, the better result you're going to have. Total success versus a success with, oh no, I twisted my ankle and now I'm going to be -1 for my next roll because I'm in pain as I try to sort things out. But I still succeeded, but that's what it is. Or you fail and you're like, oh, I didn't get through the door and the guards are coming, but I did notice that there's an air vent I can climb through. But I need to make a new check to do it. So alternate path forward. That type of thing is going on. So really cool. I love it when dice work like that. I do. I love the monster reaction tables. Is one of the best things for when I was running Basic Fantasy RPG for the 2.5 years, the 2.75 years, 2.5 years that I ran it. Just having NPC reaction rolls was so much fun because I'm like, nope, nope, yeah, they kill you. That was a blast. Or these creatures that do not trust you are like, well, they haven't stabbed us yet, so let's hear them out. And it's kind of fun. They actually got out of a couple of fights very early on when they were very, very squishy because they were attacked by a bear and they threw food at it. And that added enough bonus to when they rolled the monster reaction table, it just ate the food and ran off instead of murdering them all. And then later on in Basic Fantasy RPG, they forgot about that type of negotiation and just murdered everything, or tried to. And now they're all trying to do it, or most of them are trying to do it in Dragonbane, and that does not work at all. Do not try to murder Hobo in Dragonbane, because Dragonbane is the game that murders you back, or your characters back, I should say. Characters. Sometimes GMs have to think about that. So, a lot of fun. It was neat to do this another session to create, and maybe I'll just create the whole party this way, and that way when I finally come down to where I'm ready to run this for folks and bring people on, I'll have all the characters made, and you guys can be part of the character creation process, which would be fun. That's an idea and a good way to do stuff. So coming up on the channel, like I said, I'm going to do my 4,000 subscriber celebration and announcement of the giveaway. How to get my 2nd edition AD&D Player's Handbook. It is on the floor. I am not leaving to get it. Dragonbane is awesome, Freddie P. You are absolutely correct. It is a blast. We are having so much fun playing it. So that's what I'm doing next. I have Monty Python and Terrors of Argosa. Tomorrow afternoon, I will be at Brewery 33 in Riverton, New Jersey from 5 to 8 We are doing open adventure. We have 4 games that are running. There are no reservations. It's first come, first play, but it is a free event. So come on out, support a local business if you're in the South Jersey, Philadelphia area. Get a pizza from across the street, chill out, and have some fun. It's going to be a gorgeous afternoon. We are playing outside. Should be great with that. And then I'm going to play Tales of Argosa with Grimwood Games on Monday. Dave, do you have the link for that yet? Because I'll put it in the description after we get done. And that's going to be fun. Because Tales of Argosa is a really wild, amazing game, sequel to Low Fantasy Gaming, and they played it at EcclesiaCon, and it was so much fun. I cannot wait to actually get to play this game finally. Been dying to run it at some point over the last year, and I just have not had an opportunity to do it, and I'll finally get to play in it, and that'll encourage me to run it, which will be fun. I'm going to write reviews for both of those. I have a book that is, yeah, Dave, go do that now. That would be wonderful. I should make that sound like an order. Like, do it so I can share it. I have an unnamed Numenera book that I am going to do a review for that I am not announcing yet because my Numenera group is about to encounter the stuff that's in that book, and I don't want to give anything away to them. And I'm reading Rust and Redemption for Cypher System, which I think I said this last time. It is literally the best of the white spine books. So if you see Monty Python, these white books are like their genre books for the core game. And it just gives you some more information on how to run stuff. It gives you some suggestions on stuff, and then gives you some more focuses or foci, people say, even though foci is a appropriate pronunciation in American English. Why? I don't know. Gives you more of that, gives you more descriptors, different ways to modify your character for it. Rust and Redemption is the best one of these that I've read so far. It's really, really good. It's a lot of fun. And I'm actually bringing some things from Rust and Redemption into my Numenera game. I've already decided on that. Really kind of fun. So that's cool. And I'm reading 2 of the Numenera novels that came out. Read one of them. I am reading the second one now. And I might bring those on the channel at some point too, because they're really kind of cool. Everything Steve Grodd makes is amazing in my experience. You know what, Dave? I really appreciate Steve. He was so much fun to interview. So go check my interview out with him on the channel if you've not seen that. I forget what episode of Skipping Lunch he is, but really neat guy. Just makes these incredible games, and this will come out. I think I put this in my celebration script. Steve's the first person who sent me a physical book. So he sent me, I'm going to mess up my shelves, but it's worth it for you guys. So he sent me this. He put it into a Facebook group that I'm not even active on anymore, but he put this in and announced it, or maybe it was on Twitter before Twitter imploded. I think actually it was on Twitter. And I was like, wow, that sounds pretty cool. I might have to pick this up to review it. And Steve went, well, here, let me send you a copy. And I wasn't monetized yet. I think I barely had like 600 subscribers at the time. And he's like, no, here, have this. And just sent it to me. And this is a really neat book. And I fell in love with the Roll Under. And I did a written review of it first. It's on my old blog. Really nice, like comic booky artwork. I love it. I love the fact that it's flat paper. That's always a bonus for me. Just really, it was a nice layout. I thought it was very easy to read. And I was very impressed. And he appreciated that review. So he sent me Low Fantasy Gaming, which was the original. And so these are 2 books that he gave me when I was nobody, and I'm still pretty much nobody, compared to the big name channels. But he's great. And so when he came out with Tales of Argosa, it was my pleasure, my absolute pleasure, to back him on BackerKit, because I know he makes really good stuff. So I did buy the last book. That's good. And Dave says Steve is coming on his channel on the 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern. And Dave, you will have an absolute blast doing that. And then Ironbound. So Dave is a game designer, Grimwood Games. Ironbound should be shipping out on Monday. Yes! So I'm really excited about that. Ironbound is a modern fantasy game in a world of Dave's creation that takes place in Grimwood City, which I did do a review of the EZD6 version of Grimwood City last year, about this time, I guess, Dave. And but it's going to be going out Monday. That's really cool. It's so excited, and it's a really neat game. We've played it at EcclesiaCon the past 2 years. If you want to play like the Dresden Files type thing, that's the type of game that you want to play. Really well done. So those are all things that I'm doing, and then I gotta read this. That's going out. I have Project Sunflower down there. I have Dreams and Machines is what I'm really looking forward to get to, because it's a game that I got for Christmas and I haven't even opened it yet, so I want to read it. A lot of fun. But thank you for being here with my rambling. I really should work on getting to bed because I have to wake up early tomorrow. But I am really having a lot of fun watching your chat, talking with all of you, and really kind of celebrating all the fun things in this hobby. Thanks for being around as I made this character. Maybe we'll do this again next week sometime. We'll make another character. I want to make probably 6 or 7 for folks to choose from in order to play the game. And it should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to really dive back into Land of Eem to relearn how the game works. There's a couple things I'm foggy on. It was a year ago. And really have some fun. So yeah, thank you for being on, Justin. It's really fun. Everyone here, throw some likes in. Yes, Dave, thank you. Throw me some likes, because YouTube buries live streams. They don't know what to do with it. We're like the ugly redheaded stepchild of YouTube. And I can't go on Twitch because every time I go into Twitch's interface, it gives me a headache. And that's just the front end. I've never been on the back end. But yeah, that's all we got going on. So I'm really, this was a blast. If you are in the South Jersey area tomorrow, please come out to Brewery 33, 5 to 8 p.m. Hang out for Open Adventure, play a really cool game, and we should have fun. So until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.